This week, episode 301 of Stogie Geeks is kind of a unique event. I am here live with Scott Francis, who's helping me out. We are celebrating what would have been Stanford Newman's 103rd birthday at a special Facebook Live event. We're going to give you the details right after this intro. There is a Facebook Live event. They have some giveaways. There is still time for you to go out there and register to win a J.C. Newman humidor. It all starts right now here on this edition of the Stogie Geek Show.
This is a Security Weekly production. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Hozempa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up.
And
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
This week, I am here live with Scott Francis, who's helping me out. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Just so you know, I had literally grabbed Scott off of his bar duties, who's getting ready for a local Bruins game here, and he is going to help me out. We are celebrating what would have been Stanford Newman's, the original founder of J.C. Newman's 103rd birthday. So there is a national syndicated toast, and so Scott picked a drink. Scott, what did you pick?
Bully Boy Rum out of Boston.
Bully Boy Rum out of Boston. I'm enjoying it. Also, I do have my Bloody Mary and my stick here as we get going. Here, what we're doing here today is we are kicking off Stanford Newman's birthday. It would have been his 103rd birthday, and there is a special Facebook Live event. If you go to facebook.com and go to the J.C. Newman page, you can click on their live button, and this event is actually a contribute to about 42 different events that are live from these shops across the United States that are participating in this toast. We're all leading up to a toast around 7 o'clock to, say happy birthday to one of the original factories in the Florida region. They are in Tampa. And J.C. Newman Cigars is coming up, I believe it's next year. They're coming up on their 125th anniversary. So what do you think about that?
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Many businesses do not stick around for 125 years nowadays.
Sure. And also, I mean, if you tune into the facebook.com, go to JC Newman's page, you'll be able to catch the actual national event there. But I do want to encourage you, hey, open up 2 screens and you can catch the Stogie Geeks episode. I decided to make this an episode here, episode 301. Definitely got to change the format sometime. I'm a firm believer in you got to get out. You got to leave the studio and you got to get out on the streets. Just to give some people a visual as to what's going on here today. Scott and myself are sitting here. Want to thank our producers Johnny and Mark for putting this all together. They allow you to hear us here. They are our production crew. They had an incredibly trying week this week as Stogie Geeks is attached to other podcasts as well that are in the Security Weekly productions here. So special thanks to them for making this all happen. I want to give you a little bit of history of what they're doing here is, if you go to their Facebook page, they're going to be talking about, obviously, their dad and taking over the business and doing that there. And, I was kind of thinking, Scott, I was like, here we are in the middle of an event. And if you come down to Havana and you purchase a product from Diamond Crown, guess what? You're going to get a special stick. So it's a quick promotion. It's nothing too crazy, but it's basically a buy one get one. But more importantly is when you get one, you're going to receive a Diamond Crown 1895, which a little bit of tidbit here about this cigar. These cigars are not in regular production, and they're rolled exclusively for the private use of the Newman family.
Nice.
Now I am having my Diamond Crown Maduro at the moment. I'm going to save the stick for the toast. Scott actually began smoking that, and then we're going to light up a new one and do the formal toast as we get closer to 7 o'clock and whatnot. But what are you picking up from that stick so far?
Mild, a little bit of woodsy notes, and just a very nice smoke. Very tasty on the palate. Pairs very well with the rum.
Yeah, sure. I like rum, right? I mean, as we know, if you listen to Stogie Geeks, a lot of people pair cigars with coffee, especially with the lighter shade. You can't go wrong for sure. But, cigars and spirits do go hand in hand. Rum is awesome. It's a little bit sweeter than the scotch for sure, That kind of, I like scotch, but, I kind of go on kicks. Like,
we know you like your tequila. And
my Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
I do love my tequila, and I do love my Bloody Marys for sure. That's what I really like to really go for.
They pair well with an excellent vodka, too.
What I've noticed is with the Bloody Mary component, if it's a darker wrapper, you can't go wrong. And with the rum, or with a coffee, you go with a lighter wrapper. So if you're a cigar newbie or you want to try some different stuff, that's definitely some of the way that you want to go for sure. If you go to my Facebook, I am Joe Hozempa, so it's facebook.com. Type in Joe Hozempa or Stogie Geeks. There are some links there. There is the live event link that we are making reference to. There's also a chance for you, the Stogie Geeks listener, to log on and actually register to win a humidor. Every quarter, also, our partners at JC Newman are giving away a humidor there. And so for that, you just go to stogiegeeks.com, click on the banner right on the top, and you can enter to win there. For sure. That's an ongoing contest. That's pretty much all year. And they draw them quarterly and stuff like that there. But paying tribute, I am told by our sponsors that we are going to get the son of J.C. Newman to come into studio at some point in time. I've, like anyone here in the cigar industry, I love to bring them to the microphone. I love a chance to talk to them about how they got started in the industry. Love the fascination of the cigar world. And, I truly believe that Stogie Geeks, compared to other podcasts, really brings a different perspective from wrapper binder filler region there. I believe it really has a business acumen perspective, because let's face it, right? If the wrapper comes from this specific pot and no one's buying it, guess what? It's going to sit on the shelf, right? And so we are here to consume product, right? As consumers. And so you, as a cigar enthusiast, I want to thank you. You have followed me from when I was on the Cigar Club radio. You've showed up to some of my events there. You've kind of followed me along. I love it how 3 or 4 weeks later, when you catch up to the podcast, whenever you catch me at a local cigar shop, you kind of ask me questions and stuff like that. So it's kind of an open forum. As we get closer to 7, like if you have any questions for me, or if you want to talk a little bit about how you got into cigar smoking, how cigars has been a benefit within your life, the friends you meet or whichever. If you want to tell a story, by all means, I'd love to hear it, because that's what they're doing on the national podcast. They're telling stories about celebrating what would have been the 103rd birthday. And I can't celebrate on someone that I have not had the opportunity to meet. but certainly someone who has impacted me for sure.
Quick tidbit on how I got into cigars. My grandfather was a diehard cigar smoker. Would inhale them all the time. And when I was finally able to get my first puff, I was 13 years old and got me hooked.
Yeah.
But didn't really pick up smoking them from there until I was of legal age, and just was like a tribute to him because he had passed when I was fairly young.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just reminds me of him every single time I smoke one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my very first memories of cigars, again, it was going to with my grandfather, and they've always lived on a long street, and of course they lived on the last house on the long street, right? And I remember going for walks with my grandfather as he got older, and I was little. I mean, he had passed when I was 11, so I was really little, right? Yeah. So I wasn't smoking them, right? But I remember, him, going out, and he has, it's summertime, he's wearing his sweater, right? And we would go out as a kid and go out with my grandmother, and we would walk down the street. Like I said, it's a good probably half a mile there and back, so a quarter mile street to the main drag, and he would go, and on one side was the strip of the houses of everybody, and on the other side was actually a farm, right? So we would go there and see the different animals, and they used to do horses and train horses to run, and stuff like that. And they had farm animals, and so it just was a really, really quiet time. You know what I mean? And I remember, seeing the actual nuances of the cigar, and smelling the cigar, and coming there, and then going down there, and like I said, he passed when I was 11. So I mean, I had to been like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So it's just one of those things that kind of brings me back. And as I have the privilege and honor to interview many different people here within the cigar industry, not only today, to celebrate, but also, to when we get them on for interviews, it usually starts with that. It's amazing how they kind of hold on to that tradition.
Yeah, listening to many of the episodes, I've heard your backstories for everybody, and it's very interesting to actually sit in studio, even if I'm not in studio with you guys, to actually watch it as it goes live.
Yeah. Well, what are some of your takeaways on the show itself?
Just the educational experience of it. Wrapper, binder, filler, you guys have a different way of explaining the cigars based on your rating system. Everyone's palate's different. I understand that. Sometimes you may not like a cigar, but somebody else may. I give a fair shake to every single cigar that's out there. Sometimes they're for me, sometimes they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of the cigars that really stick out within your mind?
For me, I like Blackworks.
Okay.
Christoph, some Drew Estate stuff. 724, based out of New Hampshire.
Did you smoke that big pissed off Christoph, the big one yet?
No.
That's a commitment.
That's a commitment, and I don't know if I'm ready for that much nicotine in my life. I've had the little pissed off. That was pretty tasty. I love the Christoph Vengeance. I've been on a kick with those things lately.
Yeah. I'm really digging some of the stuff that they came out with the past 2 years.
And then I have been doing a couple of Diamond Crown Maduros, based on your recommendation a while back.
Did you have it with a Bloody Mary? No, you don't do Bloody Marys.
I don't do Bloody Marys.
Okay.
But I did have it with a nice Scotch, and it paired pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. I think it goes pretty well. I don't know. Lately, like I said, for the longest time, probably a good 6 months now, I've been on a Bloody Mary tier.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even at night. See, before I used to have them during the day, but, we have a little crew here that gets together sometimes, and since I have the luxury of working next door, I can stop in, and regardless of the time, even if it's later, it's like, I'll have a Bloody Mary,
Yeah. 6 o'clock at night after the show or after work, you're having a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, for sure. When you're taking time out, like, talk to me a little bit about some of the relationships that you were able to build just from the industry?
Just in the industry, well, here at Havana, it's kind of become like a second family with everybody that's here. We get some patrons right now at the bar. It's like having brothers and sisters, and people that come in that we all joke around. We bust each other's agates. And,
Sure.
But it's all in fun. If you have a problem with anybody, we all pretty much handle it like a family would. You kind of yell and scream at each other, and then it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
And all the guys are great. The selection in there is great. You have Nick and Adam in the humidor that will be able to help you anytime.
Oh, yeah.
So it's... Plus, I get to meet people on different golf courses, which is kind of where I met you at the first time.
That's true. We should talk about that. We should talk about that, how I met you at first. I have my version and then your version, but you go first, and we'll kind of see if they match.
My version...
Because a lot of people say, how the heck do you know Scott? Like, you know what I mean?
I went to East Greenwich Golf Club as a single, was trying to get out, and said, well, we got somebody else here as a single, because he's waiting on somebody, and, well, it's the somebody that never came, so It's me and you just went out and had a nice round of 9.
Right.
And came here afterwards, I believe.
I knew you were. He was a friend for life when he came, because my version is very similar. I was going to East Greenwich Golf Club, going to golf, and the person I was with said, I can't make it, family stuff, whichever. And it was a Thursday. I remember the day. Right?
Yeah.
I don't remember the date. I'm sorry, right? I remember the day. And it was a Thursday. And Thursdays at East Greenwich, as you know, jam-packed always. So they're not going to let a single go out at all. It was one of those rounds, like, we were waiting, like, forever. It was just slow.
It was, like 3.5 hours, I think, for 9 holes.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
It was abnormally slow. It was there. And so I get in the golf cart. Right, you drove.
Yep.
I was originally going to walk, and you drove. So I was like, yeah, I don't care. I'll drive. I jumped in the passenger. As if you know, when I golf, I hate to drive the car. Like, I cannot stand driving the golf cart. Like, and most people like to drive the golf cart. It ruins my game. Like, I can't, because then I got to go for your ball and my ball and drive. It's way, if I shank a ball, which sometimes happen, not lately though, but at the time when I met you, for sure, right? And and I shank a ball, I like to walk it off or walk there, and I don't need to be chasing your shot, because I don't want to analyze your shot. I want to analyze my shot. You know what I mean?
You were playing military golf that day, left and right.
Left, right. That's a good point, right? And then I remember pulling out a cigar, and he's like, "Oh, I got an extra one." And I did you have some? I don't remember.
I think I had a couple on me, but
okay. So we either swapped or whichever. We had some cigars and we're BSing, and we ended up smoking 2 because of the 3.5 hour tour of 9 holes there. And then I was like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go to Havana afterwards. And this is all pre-Stogie Geeks, so this is all like pre-Stogie Geeks there and doing that. I believe I don't even think I had a cigar show then. I don't even think I did.
No, I don't think you had a cigar show then. But I thought, oh well, isn't that a private club?
Right. Yeah. Most people when they come in Havana, it's the way it's set up. But just so you know, if you ever want to take a trip to the Havana Cigar Club, don't. Stop by, introduce yourself, Nick or Adam or any of the girls who work here. They will take you to Stogie Geeks, which actually shares this wall here. You know what I mean? It's comfortably convenient, as I like to say. You know what I mean? Because, there are some times where I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to work from the office. I'm going to go to Havana. And I don't even have to switch Wi-Fi. So it's pretty cool. But, yeah, if you ever want to tour the studio, stop by, come see what we're all about here. They're located at 24 Quaker Lane. You can check that out over in Warwick. Go to Havana Cigar Club. You throw them in your Google or your phone device. You can check them out for sure. And, don't hesitate to stop by Stogie Geeks. But getting back to our story, right? So then I was like, oh, man, I'm hungry, right? Because, you don't walk around 2 change and wait 3.5 hours to golf and not get hungry. So we came to Havana, and I believe we all stayed late. Like, it was like a good 11:30. Work the next day and stuff like that. And then, I think we called each other the next day and started hanging out. Hey, you want to golf again? And there's there. So, again, it's one of those things that you get to meet someone,
And
for
it
sure.
surpasses generations. I mean, I get friends in their 60s. I get friends that are in their 20s that smoke cigars.
Yeah.
And it's a brotherhood.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
brother, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. It's because you have some women smokers out there
Yep.
that enjoy them as much as the men.
Yeah, 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 and that's actually that's a good point you brought up there too. It's not so much a gentleman's game anymore. Most of the lounges, at least I know here in the Northeast, there are a ton of them. So if you don't even live in the Northeast, definitely come here. Come here in the summer. Don't come here in the winter. It's very boring. But if you can literally come to Rhode Island, nearby Massachusetts, Connecticut, and really make a super cool cigar pilgrimage there. If you ever need a list of shops to stop by, you can always email me at joeh@stogiegeeks.com. By the way, I tweet now, which now is a big deal, right? I got kind of drafted into tweeting from my other duties here in the security field, and it's amazing because I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and my business is on LinkedIn, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. And I just never tweeted. And the only reason why I didn't is because it was like it's one thing or the other, and you're going on there. It's too much, right? It still is too much, right?
So you're turning into Donald Trump Jr., huh?
So no, I am not, and I'm not following him, by the way. Because everybody else tells me what they say, and there you go. I don't. I try not to talk politics, sex, religion, or Yankees, Red Sox, baseball during the season, for sure. Because sometimes you're a pilgrim in an unholy land, depending on which side of any of those topics that you go on.
Yeah, you being a Yankees fan, me being a Red Sox fan, yeah, we
Sure.
but we get along, which is good.
Sorta. All right. So yeah, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. We're getting close to the 7, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like J.C. Newman when it comes to. Hold on, my computer's asleep. Okay, my computer's really asleep. It needs to be opened, I guess. All right. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the future things that are coming up when we talk about like where J.C. Newman is in the market as a company and the hand-rolled industry, okay? And I'm not too sure about the approach I want to use, so I'm really, like most of my interviews, are really just, I collect a bunch of ideas, and I wanted to talk to them, talk to you about this here. I'm looking, there is a group called the Coalition of American Cigar Rollers, right? And they are obviously a member of Cigar Rights America. There's a whole FDA thing going on. I mean, we've been talking about the FDA that I know of from way back when I was 2015, 2014 at Cigar Club Radio, right? As we all know, I started Stogie Geeks, becoming the co-host January 2nd of 2017. So 2.5 years before then, we have the FDA.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now we're still at the FDA, right? But there's this coalition here, and what they're doing is, kind of highlighting. There are, and this is part of my bigger conversation. Which, if you want to get in on this conversation, you can either ping us on StogieGeeks.com. The best way, honestly, is Joe H at StogieGeeks.com, or Twitter. I'm Joe Hozempa. You can check it out there, Instagram and Facebook there. But there are 50 remaining U.S. businesses that are still rolling cigars, right? And obviously, J.C. Newman is part of those, right? And just take time to reflect on that, right? So there are other versions of a company who's about to celebrate 125 years anniversary, and they're in a ever ebb and flow of constant change when it comes to not only potential tobacco law, but cracking down on tobacco or tightening up or regulating, however you want to word it, right? it's all the same. And I was actually shocked when I did a little bit of homework when J.C. Newman came aboard as a sponsor for Stogie Geeks. I was actually shocked that there's 50 of them. Like there's 50 different cigar rolling factories that are still here in the United States.
That's impressive.
Like, well, would you honestly think it would be 50?
I'd say maybe dozen, 2 dozen,
Right?
max,
Yeah, if that,
and all maybe down the southern states, Florida, Texas, all on the other borders.
Well, of course, I like to supply with facts, so I'm not going to go through all the cigars thing. We're actually going to do a Stogie Geek episode on that in the future because I don't want to take away from what we're here for today, but I do want to highlight that they're part of a older business model that has to survive. In your day job, you have to deal with business models.
Yes, I do.
So what's your thought on that? Like in regards to like 125 years. Like think about what the heck they've had to go through.
Well, with 125 years, they obviously have been doing something right to stay around for over a century.
Mm-hmm.
Their business model has got to be somewhat correct, but with the FDA regulations coming down, if you want to call them regulations, rules, laws, whatever you wanted to say, it's going to hurt the cigar industry because they're trying to lump it in with like cigarettes,
Sure.
which is, kids nowadays, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, they're smoking cigarettes, but your average cigar smoker is not an 18 or 19-year-old kid. They're not going to come in and spend $10 on one smoke. They'll spend $10 on a pack up here, which is 20 cigarettes, and then they'll chain smoke them.
Sure.
But for a 20-year-old to actually get into it, unless they have like family history of it or something like that, I don't see it happening.
See, I think that's a good point. I think that they're also getting strung up on the actual definition of premium tobacco. You know what I mean? Where cigar smoking is just put into a category of smoking, right? They're not going into, so when you have vape or other smoking products or cigarettes like you mentioned, and I don't know. I mean, I do know that the Newman family has been very vocal. Even making national news like Fox News and going out there. By the way, if you want to follow them, you go to jcnewman.com, check them out. You can sign up for the newsletter every time that they're making a change or if they're doing something, you can follow them. I highly suggest that you sign up for their newsletter as well. While you're at it, go to stogiegeeks.com, click on and register. You might be able to win a humidor. For sure, but definitely because you can kind of get an idea as to what they're fighting. So you have an older business, like I said, 124 years working on 125. You have an older business, and then it's going up to what the other business is going to, and what challenges they have to face. So kind of interesting there. Another tidbit I want to make known is that you ready for this? And this is super cool. The final numbers are in for 2018 for 2018, and the premium handmade cigar market rose 9.7%. Okay, so it's the highest it's been in a long time there, and it basically comes down to 362 million units, and this has been the best year for premium tobacco. So that's wrapper, binder, filler, the cigars that we all smoke that are hand rolled. Not talking about machine made cigars, right? That are hand rolled there. It's been the best year of imports that it's been since what years would you think?
I'd say the mid-90s.
Pretty close, very close. 1997. So, I remember they say in the mid-90s and the late 90s was the cigar boom.
I was actually in the industry back then selling cigars. Little shop in East Greenwich, and it was was pretty well, but it was crazy. Everyone was just getting in the cigar market.
Yeah.
There's brands that I don't think are even around anymore. I've looked for them and can't find them.
Yeah. Well, that happens a lot today as well. The business model there for sure. That's why I think it's super cool that if you go to jcnewman.com, you can take a chance. And I want to take some time out to talk to you a little bit about some of the brands that JC Newman represents. Right before that, we get to the toast. We'll do the toast, and then we're going to wrap up with the 50, which states that they're in and all of that, and that'll conclude the episode. So thank you for sticking around. But when it comes to JC Newman, right before we get into the toast, let's take a sip in honor of the toast. We're not going to do the formal toast yet for sure. However, you want to name some?
Diamond Crowned.
Yup.
Is it Maximus?
Maximus, yup. Black Diamond.
Black Diamond, okay.
Which, that's pretty interesting. It's by Diamond Crown, the stronger component. I like them. I can, a Diamond Crown Maduro and the Black Diamond by Diamond Crown. Super cool sticks. Absolutely love them. I'm enjoying the Diamond Crown Maduro. Trying to get through it in time for the toast. I don't know if that's going to really work out, but either way, I'm doing the toast. All right. Julius Caesar.
Oh, that's a good smoke. I did not realize that was in JC Newman.
Yeah. I had forgotten that. I'll be honest. I'm always candid when it comes to the Stogie Geeks listener and whatnot. I've actually forgot that they were part of that there too. They came out with a brand new one. It's called the American. Right. Okay. So on the next episode of Stogie Geeks, we're going to take some time to go through that there for sure. So you want to tune in for that. You ready for this one? Augusta Ray.
Augusta Ray. I've had that.
Look at that logo. It's the logo right there. You've had that, yes. Definitely, for sure. Then you've had the Perla Del Mar Brick House, super cool stick.
Had the Brick House.
I actually have in my pile the Brick House. These Brick House little travelers, man. I'm such a fan of the Brick House. I'm such a fan of their marketing. Give them $5 and a comfortable chair, and you're golden for sure. And Quorum for sure is some of their bundled sticks.
Yes,
that you can get.
I've had Quorums in the past.
You can get that, and then finally the El Padron, which there you go. So those are the sticks that you can consume from the JC Newman there for sure. You can finish that. I'm gonna do our formal toast. What? Sure, have them come in. Does he want to come in? We can do that. Does Todd want to come in? Who wants to come in? Yeah, have them grab people. Todd, okay. We're getting requests from the owner. We're gonna start grabbing some people and doing that. However, so we gotta move. I guess we're being evacuated for sure. However, let me light this up here, and this is, I guess, the official toast to the 103rd, what would have been the 103rd anniversary and birthday for the founder for JC Newman. And I want to say, and also, yeah, producers bring a great point. I want to also say, cheers to Stogie Geeks making over 300 episodes. There you go, cheers.
Cheers.
And thank you for joining us. We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap up with some of the cigars and interview some more people and move forward. I'm your host, Joe Zempa. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Continuing our conversation as we start to wrap this up, want to take the time to talk to you about that industry, okay, and these 50 factories, okay. I am going to do a whole segment on this. I promise I'll be a little bit more organized with that for the listeners here. But I wanted to give you a taste. There's so much stuff that I want to talk about here on Stogie Geeks. We're going 301 episodes. I'm going to tell you, we're not going anywhere. I mean, we have so much to talk about. We have so much to do here on Stogie Geeks. It's going to be one heck of a 2020. there. I know IPCPR. I love it. I can't talk to you. I can't do an interview before IPCPR. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know why. Because you don't want to like sell your products some more. You want to, you know what I mean? But anyway, it wouldn't be a Stogie Geeks episode if I didn't rant. So
that's true.
I have to rant. So Scott, of these 50 factories that are celebrating that, I want to commemorate what that's all about. And we got to wrap up pretty soon because the Bruins about to drop that puck, and we ain't even going to be able to get a word in edgewise here on Stogie Geeks. So, again, if I forget to thank anyone, I want to thank our production crew for making this happen. Johnny and Mark, they do a great job there. I also want to thank you for sitting in and helping me out with the show. It's been a privilege to have you on. Told you I'd get you on Stogie Geeks. Scott said been saying no for years now, but I just grabbed him today and then did that there. So, Scott, wrapping this up right quick, you want to take a couple of gamut as to where you think some of these factories are statewide. We're not going to get into the actual names, but
statewide, Florida.
Oh, obviously. I was like, wait a minute, Florida. Yep, just so you know, Florida. Right, Florida. Where am I? Florida has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 of
the 50.
Of the 50. So 49% of the handmade are obviously in Florida. So great guess. Right?
Carolinas, maybe?
Carolinas. Yeah.
There's got to be a North or South Carolina in there, right?
There is actually one in North Carolina, yes.
Texas, maybe?
Texas, there's 3. There's 3. I'll give you one more crack, and then I'm going to burn through the list. We're going to wrap this up.
Let's say Alabama.
Ooh, that's a good. Nope.
No.
Well, that's all right. Hey, man, you got 75. You now? Here's your chance. Do you want to make it a better grade and guess one, or do you want to go below a 75? That's your choice.
Well, I'll say one more. Tennessee.
Ooh, Tennessee.
Or Kentucky. One of the two. I know they grow tobacco there. I don't know if they make any roll in it.
Let's forget you said Tennessee, and we'll go with Kentucky. And you scored a good grade.
Okay.
Only because you made the recommendation for
the rum.
A rum to pair well with this stick. And this stick, privately owned, I want to thank the Newmans for doing this. I mean, I think it's a super cool event. I think it's very innovative. I do know that they've been doing a whole online push, not only with Stogie Geeks, but with other podcasts as well. And I want to say hats off to the Newman family. Hold on, I want to cheers first. I want to say hats off to the Newman family for considering that. Not only do they sponsor this podcast, but they sponsor other podcasts, and they realize that cigar podcast, although us all be different and we all approach it a different way, we are the future of the industry. We are the future of the industry.
You guys are the boots on the ground right now.
Well, we are. You know what I mean? You have publications which take their print cycle to go through. It's an interactive video blog for sure. And I think that all of the cigar podcasts, whether they be audio and video or just audio and video, I will tell you, Stogie Geeks, man, our production crew is amazing. They do such a great job. I'm going to burn through these because I could go on forever, but I'm getting looks that the Bruins are about to start, and I get it for sure. They're gonna throw us out of here. So again, we are going to be doing an episode on the 50 cigars. I want to invite you back for that if you want. We can schedule it with time if you want to continue, because it's a super cool educational component, and I was actually fascinated that there were actually 50. I'm going to burn through the states right quick. So if you're listening at home or watching this when it's post-production podcast, grab a quick pen. These are the states that they are in. They are in Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, obviously Florida. We talked about that. mostly 50%. Well, 48% of that is in there. Scott's, Kentucky, Illinois, Louisiana, Massachusetts. That was interesting.
Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. And I did my research. I was like, wow, no kidding, right? However, there you go, right? And the one in Massachusetts is pretty unique, not only because it's next door to us, but their business model. And we'll get in a little bit of that. We're actually going to have a panel for that show. That'll be before episode 310 of Stogie Geeks, I hope. Right? There we go. Not that I hope that there's a 310. I hope that my ADD doesn't kick in and it becomes 340 something. Anyway, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Texas, Washington, and West Virginia. Those are your states that we are going to talk about, and we're going to get a little bit more into those brands and all of that type of stuff over there. I know the Newman National podcast had ended. It wouldn't be Stogie Geeks podcast time if we were on our own planet in our own time. Any last questions or comments you want to make about today's event and for you being here? And thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me on the show. It was very nice. Don't really have any questions for you, and I'm enjoying the smoke.
This is a freaking good smoke. This is a phenomenal smoke, and if I was rating it, it's not because of the event. It definitely would be more than Joe Josempa's traditional fiver. I can't give it a box split or box worthy because you can't go and get them. So my suggestion is sign up to the newsletter. Make sure you get pretty close to the Newmans. Ask them for the Fairly Road stick, and that's the only way out. I don't like to say, nah, this is what I have. It's not my speed, but this is a freaking good stick.
Yes, it is.
You know what I mean? This is a good stick. I'm going to finish my Bloody Mary. We're going to kick it off with the Bruins coming up. That won't be live on Facebook, but Bruins prediction, what do you think?
Oh, boy. I think it's going to be a rough and tough game. I think the Blues are going to come out and just start banging around, and then hopefully the Bruins can put it away.
Yep. I know I'm going to get hate email, so send it, joeh@stogiegeeks.com. I originally said they're going to sweep. And people were like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, dude, they're going to sweep.
The Bruins, well, it's going to 7, and it's the first game 7 in the Garden, so, I mean, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. I think it's going to be super cool to watch. There you go. Oh, quick note, by the way. I want to say thank you to JC Newman for sending me this Diamond Crown 4-pack of Robusto number 4s. These are available in box sets. You can go to their website, check them out. You can get them online there or sometimes at your local shop if they're participating in that. These Robusto number 4s, it's a classic collection of theirs, Diamond Crown. It's Connecticut. It's super awesome. I would be lying to you if I said I had another one, which is why I had these empty boxes. And the reason being is because Paul Azadorian, owner of Stogie Geeks, had commandeered some as well. I guess that's his privilege.
Yes,
right?
it is.
And there you go. So this has been episode 301 of Stogie Geeks. We are here. We are live. We are well. I am your host, Joe Josempa. Any email, you can email me at joeh@stogiegeeks.com. Follow me on Twitter, Joe Josempa, Facebook, Instagram, all those internet thingies and whatnot. What's the matter? You want to come on? All right. We have a production crew, Johnny, coming on, and then we're wrapping up.
All right.
Scott, thank you. Just do a microphone switch. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We have a short timeline. The Bruins dropped the puck, and we're going to get no voice in here edgewise.
Joe, man, it's good. Wow, it's loud man. Oh,
It's going to get louder because of the Bruins. What are you doing, man?
yeah. What's up, Joe?
Hey.
Hey, man. Great event, dude. Honestly,
Dude.
I'm loving it. Other side? Oh, it's fine.
Nah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
We'll go.
It's all good.
Johnny,
Yeah.
I want to say, for those of you who are watching, if you're listening, just stop watching, right? There for sure. But if you're listening to the show, if you're watching the show, this gentleman here is half of our production crew. Do you know how to use a microphone? All right.
Okay.
You're half our production crew.
Mark's yelling at me.
I know, he's yelling.
As he normally does.
He yells at me throughout the whole show.
He's like, hey, do your thing right.
Yeah, he yells at me throughout the whole show.
He's like, do the thing right. Put the microphone on the other side, and he's behind the camera so you can't see him.
Johnny is super cool. Johnny and Mark, they're always behind the scenes. You guys don't get enough credit for what you do, not only for Stogie Geeks, but for Security Weekly in general.
I'll tell you
We've
what,
had a
man.
long day here.
Me and Mark we love producing Stogie Geeks. One reason, because you're the host. To be honest, and not trying to
No.
boast your boat or anything like that, but it's just we just love doing it because it's a fun show. It's something so different from what we do in our day-to-day lives, right? So
Yes, it is.
90% of the time we're doing security stuff and you're selling the security stuff. So we don't really get to sit down and have a cigar and talk about cigars or anything like that. So it's just that's our time on Fridays when we do Stogie Geeks. That's our time to sit back with a stick, listen to you talk about what you're feeling, what you're smoking, and interviewing great people. And it's
Great people at the last minute. Tell
Yeah.
them
Oh
what
my
it's like
God.
on your
So,
end.
all
Go ahead,
right,
be
so
honest with them. Be honest with them.
on my end, honestly, it grinds our gears, right? But not in a bad way, right? We love Joe, but it's tough because everyone in the security industry, they know about computers and they're up to date with technology. These guys are coding on computers and they're writing code and they're constantly on it with the technology and stuff. And Joe will be like, "We got to make this guy a Skype ID." I'm like, "We have to set them up with a Microsoft account." Okay, we'll do it. We'll give him Mark's. So we give him Mark's Skype ID, and we're like, you gotta log into Decepticon 9945. Here's the password. We'll get you on. Download the Skype client, and the test call. Joe, we'll just be in something, and just, hey, what are you doing in 5 minutes? And this is a true story that's happened more than a dozen times. Joe will come up to me, and he'll just say, "What are you doing in 5 minutes?" I'm like, "Well, I'm doing a lot, Joe." But to Joe, I'm like, "I don't know what you need, man." He's like, "Can we do a test call? I got this guy on the line right now." Because the thing is, when you got the guy on the line, that's the only time you got him on the line other than when he's coming on for the show, right? So it's like, if we don't do that test call right there, there's going to be some problems in the future. So, I mean, Joe is great, man. We love Joe. Having him in the Security Weekly family is awesome. Having him on the Stogie Geeks host is just, Joe's a great guy, man. Great guy. And me and Mark love producing Stogie Geeks, man.
Thanks,
We love doing it because we get to sit back and watch you talk to some of the biggest guys in the industry about the sticks that are coming out, what you're feeling about the stick, and we learn. We gain knowledge from it because we sit down and we listen, and we're like, wow, everything Joe's saying is relating to this stick. So we love doing it. And
I gain knowledge.
I don't want it to stop. It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. Cheers to that.
Yeah, so Stogie Geeks is Stogie Geeks, and there's some rumors on the street. Stogie Geeks is going nowhere, man.
It's going nowhere.
Always bet Joe Jose.
It's going up.
You know what I mean?
Stogie Geeks is going up.
I mean, it might be called Joey Geeks.
Joey Geeks
in 2021 or something. You know what I mean? But seriously, all kidding aside, like, you guys really make it happen. We always pinch hit for Stogie Geeks. You guys have always been there for that show. Mark was part of the original crew, showing up to Paul's house when he was doing Stogie Geeks.
Mark was doing Stogie Geeks when it was after Security Weekly on Thursdays. Stogie Geeks used to start at 9 p.m. on Thursdays. Right. Imagine that now, you at Caden.
Right.
Imagine that. That'd be tough getting out the house. Hey, sorry, I'm going to be home at 12, maybe 12:30. We got to film some Stogie Geeks. It's like, but that's what it used to be. It's grown so much. Even from when I started, it's just grown so much just because of the knowledge that you have about cigars, man. I learned everything that I know from you and Paul about cigars. Yeah. There's no one that's taught me more. I learned everything from you. Even Mark has taught me a lot when I first started,
Right. You know what I think is...
I appreciate cigars now so much more than I did when I first started because I didn't know Jack.
Sure.
I didn't know Jack. You know what I mean?
You know what I think is unique, too? A testament to Paul Azadorian, who did start the podcast, obviously, with a cast of characters way before me and some co-hosts way before me. Tribute to them. Paul and I approach cigars so differently.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it's amazing how the Stogie Geeks listeners like, yeah, is Paul coming back? I'm like, no, I don't think Paul's coming back. You know what I mean? Why? You don't like Joe Zempa? Like, what's the matter with Joe Zempa? You know what I mean? And I love, like different emails that stick out where like the Stogie Geeks listener knows that I like an email better because I
Yeah.
can respond back to you.
Yep.
You know, they might tag me in Facebook or whatever, but they email me and they take a picture. It's a Saturday and they're with their son, and they're not even smoking cigars. They're like, dude, this is my son, and I went skateboarding with my son, and I took my son boxing because of your boxing episode. Or, you know, how's the Stogie Geeks listeners email me, joe@StogieGeeks.com. You know, how's Caden? How's fatherhood? Like, I even get like, hey, Papa, like, you know what I mean? Because they know, like, it's the first time, you know, my son's 9 months old.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to see it evolve. And you know, the future of Stogie Geeks, I mean, we got some super cool ideas for 2020.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to be innovative. You know, we're not just doing boring interviews. I love the content. And what I love most importantly, and I do want to thank the interviewees from the bottom of my heart.
Sure.
If you've ever been on a Stogie Geek episode with me, they're not scripted.
No, absolutely not. I'll tell you that from
every
the production
episode
side.
is not scripted.
Joe Ho goes in with no teleprompter.
I stutter.
Like, Joe, you need a teleprompter? He's like, nah, I got this.
I stutter in normal life, so friggin' I'm gonna stutter on Stogie Geeks, right? It's just the way it goes. But like the audio and visual content of the people that we interview, I really think that's a difference that Stogie Geeks has to bring, because they really let us inside stuff. You know what I mean? I could talk about La Hero. I could talk about a Rapparacca. Shit. When I started Stogie Geeks, I couldn't even pronounce a Rapparacca. That's a true story.
Yeah.
Paul would always correct me.
Yeah.
I definitely can't spell it.
Yeah.
However, right? However, yo, man, you gotta come on Stogie Geeks.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. I've been
and-
saying it for a while. I think I'm weathered enough now to be able to rate some sticks and talk about sticks and join you with some stuff. Real quick before we go, I know we're doing this event to JC Newman. Shout out to JC Newman, and we had a great toast. It was an awesome event. Tell me about the stick that I'm smoking. I know you
What
might
are
have
you
before.
smoking?
So this is the stick you gave me.
Oh yeah.
This is the one you gave me. You bullet cut for me,
Yeah.
right? You told me to light it evenly.
Yeah.
And it's been going for about an hour, and it is it's tasty, it's smooth, it's a little bold, it's a Connecticut one.
Yeah.
So if anyone's just tuning in now, let them know, what is this stick?
That's a good point. Glad you brought it up. As you know, it's all unscripted, so I have some notes over here. Your wrapper is a Connecticut shade. Binder and filler is Dominican. And as most of the Diamond Crown repertoire is there, when you have Dominican, in my opinion, the expressions are there do not respect Stogie Geeks' management and or, I guess it's staff. I'm staff now, right? Okay. I got to change my disclaimer, right? It's been aged 5 years, and this here is their Connecticut. It's a Robusto number 4. It's available in these super cool things. They make great Father's Day gifts or late Father's Day gifts. They're hint for Caden's dad. Or Caden, if you want the credit card number, if you scan already, I'll give it to you. Right? But they come in a 4-pack. They're super cool. Our sponsor, JC Newman, sent it to us. And again, when the guy came in yesterday, right? And I opened it yesterday, and we had a crazy day yesterday and a crazy day today. But when I came in this morning, the very first thing was I started opening this up. I said, yo, man, we're all splitting this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I share it with the staff. I want your opinion and stuff like that. And my opinion of it kind of mixed Mark. I know you guys can't see Mark, and he's been on a few
Mark, you got to
previous
come over here,
Stogie
man.
Geeks.
Put them headphones
He
down,
can't
man.
come over here. They're gonna drop the puck, dude. We're getting already.
It's coming.
Right? So
It's coming.
what's basically happening here is I said to John, I says, light this evenly because this will smoke down to the nub.
Yeah.
This is an amazing smoke that you can add to your repertoire. It is the Diamond Crown number 4 Robusto,
Oh, man, it's so
Connecticut.
good.
It's part of their classic collection.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with Diamond Crown. And one of the things that I like personally is that I have chased probably 2017, 2018 Guilty boutique.
Yeah, yep.
And one of the things that I really like about JC Newman is they've allowed me to kind of reset and get into their brands. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm trying to do here on Stogie Geeks is get into some of those classic facings again. and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
And really go back to that, because you forget, because the consumer forgets.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
always do. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind. You do
Yep.
no marketing, and then there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, not for nothing, this stick is great. I mean, I'm still smoking it. It is bold with flavor. It smokes just beautiful.
there you go.
It's awesome.
There
This
you
is a great stick. One of the best Connecticut's I've ever had.
Well,
to be
promise
honest with
me
you.
you're gonna show up on a soon be
I would
episode of
love
Stogie
to.
Geeks.
I would love to. I would love to. I really would.
Off air.
Yeah.
You let me know who you want to interview.
Oh,
I'll get them for Stogie Geeks.
Oh, I know you will.
Of course, we gotta wait.
I've seen you get guys that are like CEOs.
Yeah, man.
Of founders and they come like lead marketing guys for some huge companies.
Nesta Placencia.
There you go.
Nesta Placencia.
We had him on. We
Yeah,
had
man. You want-
what's the other one? Christian Aroa.
Christian.
Oh my God, that was a fantastic interview.
Speaking of
and
Christian
you know what?
Raul, you better return my phone call.
Raul, yeah, we need some of them win-wins over here, man.
Yeah,
The Mayhems, we love the Mayhems.
Yeah, send them. We'll give it
Love
the
the
address
Mayhems.
for
We
sure.
need that 50 bundle to test out, right? We just got to test it one more time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, man. Thank you for showing me everything that I know about cigars. Because, not for nothing, it's for me, right? For my knowledge, but I've been able to share that with some of my friends that have no idea about cigars. They
Yeah.
don't know anything,
Yeah.
and they come over here to the Security Weekly to view on Thursdays for PSW, right? PSW is our main show. Paul Security Weekly. That's how Paul Asadorian. That's how he founded this whole thing. Was his main podcast.
Yep.
So sometimes we'll invite friends to come over for a live viewing on a Thursday. They come over. Well, I'm like, listen, we'll come have some whiskey. We'll smoke some sticks. They're like, sticks? What are sticks? I'm like, this is the terminology I learned, almost 2 years ago from when I first started.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
what's a stick? I'm like, they're thinking it's something else. I'm like, no, it's a cigar.
Yeah.
And everything I learned is just awesome because I've been able to pass that on and share that with my friends.
Yep.
And now they appreciate cigars more.
Yep.
And I've been able to tell them some of the brands that we had, and some of my friends are coming over like, oh, I really like this stick. I'm like, listen, if you like that one, you really got to smoke this one.
Sure,
'Cause-
and it brings me a point to the industry. I also want to thank Paul Asadorian.
Yeah, for sure.
For allowing me the opportunity to appear as co-host and then eventually host.
Yeah.
And then eventually the show.
Take over.
Take over that.
And
I mean,
Joey
super-
Geeks.
It's
going to be Joey Geeks at one time.
it's super cool. I enjoy every minute of it. I love the industry, and
Yeah.
it's been, it's been so cool. And I think like J.C. Newman, celebrating 125 years next year, 103rd birthday of the original owner. It's generational.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean,
man.
it's so cool.
It's still going. There's, for me, it's just fascinating that there's these factories that there's people hand rolling cigars, and it's just that's all they do all day, and they're so good at it. They're so dedicated and devoted, and
Yeah.
it's really an art. It's not just something you smoke. There's so much that goes behind this: the aging and the
Yep.
growing and the taking care of the tobacco when it's going, and there's just so much behind it, and it's so fascinating to me, and more people should know about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I have an outro.
You hit it.
Try not to laugh. Okay.
I'm already
Try not to laugh for this outro. We have an official Joe Hozempa outro, and here we go. Special thanks to J.C. Newman. Congratulations for the 103rd birthday anniversary toast, as we have toasted many times before. Absolutely, positively, cheers. The Bruins are about to drop the puck. We got to definitely get out of here for sure.
Yeah, it's about to get loud in here. That's for sure.
And
If you thought
so,
it was loud now, it's going to get a lot
For
louder.
those of you who are not organized for IPCPR, a calendar usually works. If you need help with a calendar, you let me know. However, do not traipse around that event with your man purse full of cigars. You do not need to. There's only one room for that. There you go. And that is my official note to you. Yeah. We'll see you next time on Stogie Geeks for episode 302. This has been episode 301 of Stogie Geeks. I have been your host, Joe Hozempa. I want to thank Johnny and Mark, the production crew.
Thank you,
I want to
guys.
thank Havana Cigars for allowing us to film this event here. I want to thank Paul Asadorian, especially for the opportunity. I want to thank Scott Francis for appearing and coming in off the bench, pinch hitting for this particular event and for everyone who has helped behind the scenes put it together. And for those of you in the cigar field who hasn't returned my call, shame on you. We're out.
Stay smoky.